All right, cool. So we have another group project, and it's going to be due next week on Sunday. Because y'all only have a week to do it, and to be completely honest, y'all only have like today and like Tuesday and whatever else, whatever other days y'all kind of dedicate to this to do it. It's not going to be much work. And it'll be enough work for like 2 people to take care of. But if y'all split it up into like 6, y'all would be more than fine on actually accomplishing it. So let me share my screen. So cool. So can y'all see my screen? Hold on. I don't think I'm sharing the right thing. Hold on. Share this. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to be using. CrudCrud. Right now, the app that y'all have, y'all are able to bring in products into your applications, whatever. But what I want y'all to do is, and all the information is saved in some JSON or whatever. Like some not JSON, some object, some array, somewhere in your folder structure. But I want y'all to actually use API to bring in that data. I want y'all to store it here. And the way that this can go is like storing like the name of the product, the picture of the product, like the picture location. Like for example, like just like how we did in the let me bring up the one moment. Let me stop sharing for 2 seconds. I'm gonna bring up the project.
Oh, never.
What was your question?
I was asking, was it the Pokédex you were looking for that API call? Because I think you used the Pokédex for that.
There's no, not the Pokemon one, but the CrudCrud one. This one, like so this one here. Remember last time we had, we copied the API key. So actually, I'm gonna just go here, check import information, endpoint information, copy the API key, paste it in here to get your refresher, and then press load products. So with this one, remember these 4 like pictures are already in my code. Like if I go to the folder structure, we can see that here inside of assets, we have the chips, the sandwich, and XYZ. All of those are here. So whenever I, select one of these and give it a price, let's say 3 or whatever, this makes, what's going on? This wasn't make an API call. I think my my browser froze or something. Let me paste in. Okay, it's here. So if I go here and then go to, if I refresh and go to store, and it should, actually, I think this is it. If I go to store, my internet is very slow. If I go to store, we can see that I'm saving the chips here by the cost or whatever, and I'm saving an image. And that image is the location of the image in your actual code. So what I want y'all to do is to create a folder with all of the images. I think you already have those images in your project already. And then store the location of those images in CrudCrud. So store the location of those and like the name, obviously, and maybe a description or whatever. And basically what y'all will have to do is to run like a script or like a seed file. We know that adding things to the to CrudCrud And this is a good reference here when if y'all was to like, wanted to get an update on how to do it. If you was to add something, if you press add here, we can see that this is the API call here on both of these actually. And basically you'll set up your JavaScript file to loop through an object, an array of objects. And then it'll make this API call with every object that it comes across. And the objects will look something like this, except for it'll have cost, name, description, and then the location of the picture or image or whatever. So after you run that, and then you reload your app should then pull from, it should make a call to CredCred. It should make a call to CredCred. And let me empty this out. The call that it should make, put load store, is the same call here. This get call, and you put the key, and you put like the store name in there. So you make that call, you'll get back your array of objects, and then you loop through those and display those on the screen. And that's all I want y'all to do. Y'all don't have to do a delete. You don't have to do an update. You don't have to delete, update. Like all you got to do is do the put request. I'm sorry, the post request. The post request sends the data to CredCred, and that's when y'all will run that seed script, the one where you looping over the array of objects to put it in CredCred. And then whenever the app loads, I want you to make the get request. That's this one here. And that's going to pull all the data from CredCred and put it on the screen. And that's all I want y'all to do with that. Now, we're not going to have a Kanban because we saw the other Kanban was like really messing up. What y'all can do instead, since it's not like that big of a task or whatever, what I would probably do is split it up or work in like pairs or whatever. And then like one person writes the code to make the get request. One person writes the code to make the post request, and then, or like one group do the get request, one group write the code to do the put request, one group would write the code for like that connects the get request to like the function that sees the database, the one that loops through the array. Like just break it up into stuff like that, and then it should be manageable for y'all to get done before Sunday, because it's literally something one or two people can do before that. So any questions on any of this stuff? And let me actually put some of this stuff in the Slack as well. Let me stop. Let me pull up the Slack. Just so we can have one spot where all this information is. But yeah, any questions on it, what I just explained, or is it pretty clear?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Is there a big difference between doing it with the plain vanilla JavaScript like we did with, before, with the following on with the video, and doing it in React? Is there a big difference?
That's a good question. I'll actually show y'all how to do it. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it actually. Today I'll do a quick demo. So use CredCred. So get requests to display items on the screen, and you want to do a post request to see the database, and that's literally looping through array of objects and making post request for each. And what else? Am I missing something? Yeah, and that's really it. And I'm about to explain some of this also. just to give y'all like some clues or whatever, the get request, and it's not much of a clue because I'm about to do a demonstration. For the get request, you're going to use the use effect hook to pull the data. And yeah, I think that's the only difference. Everything else is just regular JavaScript, like not like React not React related specifically. But let me I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna pull up a quick React app. I have one. Okay, I gotta create a new project. API. Mm. So it's loading. We're trying to build up the project now. Cannot create that because NP and running restriction. All right. Did y'all ever, I know that the last project there was like an issue with like having all of the code in one like repository. Did y'all ever finish getting all of that code into one repository, or at least like most of it?
Yeah, we did get everything pushed to the same, and that was just because there were just some issues with the task. So last minute, we were all trying to, get a push to get it as complete as we can. But on Tuesday, that following Tuesday, we did take care of that.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, there's one last thing to do. So yeah, I think this should definitely be doable. Especially if it's just a get request and a post request, honestly. While this loads, and obviously like on Sunday next week, I'm going to give certificates. So we'll have a little ceremony, and then like I was saying, I'll give 3 like MVPs or whatever. So those would be the people that I saw the most like progress and the most output from, and the people that's like highly recommended. Obviously, I could be a recommendation for all of y'all, but the ones that I highly recommend would be like the top 3 people. Moving forward, I'm probably going to start doing that for the boot camp, just to like give people incentive to really like go in or whatever. But yeah, that's how I'm going with Sunday. It's about halfway loaded.
So is the reason that you're using use effect is because you want to, as soon as the screen load, run that get request, pretty
Right.
much. So upon refresh, you run get request and control the amount of refreshing that it does.
Yeah. So yeah, you just basically basically that. And the only thing you had to do is, obviously you use the fetch object or whatever to make the get request. And inside of the use effect, you would put like, you wouldn't put any parameters. No, you would put an empty array as a second parameter of the use effect, so that it only runs one time. The only time you want it to run is whenever you first refresh the page, and then no other rerun times. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was going
Yeah,
to say,
I went before, but yeah, it's I'm about to go over it again just to npm start, just to give y'all an idea. And I'll use CrudCred in this example so y'all can like actually have like a whole like cheat sheet or whatever.
I was also gonna ask, I forget, I know CrudCred expires at
Mhm.
some point, I think a day or something like that, or 12 hours. It was something like that, like 24 hours exactly. But yeah, how do we refresh that?
What I would do is whenever you're testing the code, I would yeah, I think you can open up a different browser and then go to CrudCred and get another one. If whenever you do refresh it, it doesn't, if it don't like give you a new one, you can just open up a new browser and get the API key from there. And I'll show you that as well. So let me share my screen.
Sam has a question in the chat.
Let's see. Let me open up the chat. I think I lost the Zoom. Where is it? Let me
Hit that
start.
escape button. No, hit the escape button and it should pop, your control should pop up at the top of the screen. And then you can use them to get to the chat.
Yeah. So I think Sam is, so you're saying like if you don't use user effect, you will have 24 hours, you have to wait 24 hours. Like you just gotta wait the I thought it was like 24 hours, maybe it was 24. I don't know how long it was, honestly. I feel like it was 48 hours you have for API key. But either way, even if it runs out, you can just refresh your page. It, um I think that's the only thing you really got to worry about is it expiring, because it will expire. I think the one I have, it has like it has 1 hour left because I I went to the website and was testing stuff out. I think like 2 days ago, actually. I think it is 48 hours. But yeah, let me share my screen. I'll do a quick example of CrudCred. So we have the app open right here. So I'm gonna do all of this inside of this one component. I'm not even gonna bring in another one. I'm gonna obviously turn this to arrow function. Now y'all can leave it as regular functions if y'all want, but I'm just gonna do it as arrow function. So let me just make sure that this okay, so we got hey right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is and then we'll get requests. So I'm gonna say seeded data or like I don't know, like get seed. I'll just name my folder seed. And then inside of here, I'm gonna say seed.js. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I'm gonna put this inside of a folder. I'm gonna just do assets, whatever, put that here. All right, so I have this screenshot, the one I just took inside of there. And the seed will have like, let's say these are the products. And we have one product. I'm just gonna do one example. We have the name, and we'll say we're selling VS Code text. The cost, say that's like $20 or something, so 20. Description. Just some text.
Now, should
And
we have
most importantly, go ahead.
Should we have our cost as a number versus a string? Like if we're still doing it like the total and subtotal? Or do we just probably run a function to like convert it? Like you have your 20 as a string, but if we were trying to work the cart just to get the full total, should we just have it as a number?
I don't think the format of the info matters as long as you run the stringer file in there to make sure that it turns into a string when you send it to the backend when you're doing your API call. I think we can keep that number as, or we can keep that piece of information as a number, that value. We don't got it. I don't think we have to change anything about our information, about our objects.
Right, like we already have it as a number in our total works. I just saw he had set it as a string. So I was just wondering if for hours, like you said, if we just keep it as a number, it should be fine then, right?
Yeah, it'll work. It'll still work.
Cool, thanks.
And I think also Isaiah just dropped. Yeah, Isaiah just dropped.
Yeah, I saw him freeze there.
But yeah, we got our assets. Ours are called items. So we already built our assets out. We just have to literally take what we're using to populate the screen. And instead of just populating the screen with that, mapping through that, we have to save it, send it to a server, and then repull it. That's it. So all we have to do is run it. Yeah, all we have to do is make a function that essentially checks to see if there's any information on the server. If there's not, then we'll put the seed value in, which we call items. And if there is, then we'll literally just pull that information off, and we'll make sure to have an API key that we could just constantly paste in when we're using that when we're using the function, our full function. I've made it. It's called API handler. It's pretty much done. All I have to do is connect it to the items I call it inputs, but you'll connect it to the items, and also you'll connect it. You'll have to connect it to your front page to make it populate. But I'm gonna make it a function where you could pass in your items and then probably use my use state or whatever the case is. So everything that's called input in the API handler that exists now will most likely end up being called items to match what we have in the folder. Or I could still just call it input. It really doesn't matter. But I still want to, we'll still have to take that function and then put the input in there, put the items in there, and make it, to make it do what it's supposed to do. The thing that I was confused on, I was trying to turn it to a component, and then use it as a component to help render, instead of just using a function and then inputting those variables into the function. I don't know what I was thinking, but either way, I've seen the light, and it should be, we should be able to get that done like relatively simply. So, relatively quickly. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm back.
all right.
I don't know where where did it drop me out? You remember?
So Torrance was asking the question, and I believe you just finished speaking about use effect. You were talking about CRUD and refreshing to make sure that you retrieve that API.
Yeah.
You can get a fresh API key to keep on practicing or to use in a demonstration. But
so
I think you were finishing that up, so you should be good to go on the project now. Yeah, there you go.
I was
building.
Y'all saw me start to write this function?
No, you were building the seed data, the object.
Yeah, I dropped for a while. I didn't even notice. All right, cool. So yeah, this is the seed data right here. The path, the description, the cost, the name. And then also export CDB. or whatever, like to a function to actually see the data. So I'm just looping through the products and I'm doing a for each, and I'm going to see the database with each product. What I had started to do was start to write out this fetch object, and I realized that, I don't want to mess up the fetch objects. So I just went into the code for this. I'm literally just going to copy and paste the post request I already did inside of Store.js, because all the information is right there.
Syntax. Oh, wow.
Yeah, all the syntax, right? I'm just going to paste that in. This URL, it's just going to be the URL that we have. It's going to be a post request. We have the headers, we have this, and this is the body. It's just going to be the product, because that's going to come from here. It's going to be the body. And we'll just do a console log of success and data. So I'm going to save that. And now I got to put in this URL. The URL is formatted. I can literally just copy that also from here. This is the URL that is formatted as.
What did you get that data variable from?
Data variable.
On the
Oh.
console log, your console log and success and data.
Right
What does
here.
that data represent?
That's
Yeah.
that should be like a confirmation that they send us back from the from CrowdCred. So if it was successful, they're gonna send us back something. Now, what's going to be inside of this data object, I'm not all the way sure. I feel like it should be what we posted, but it depends. We'll see exactly, actually. And if it's an error, obviously we're gonna log the error. And the error is gonna log out whatever error that they give us back.
That's because that's the whole promise thing, right? Since you got the fetch, and then the promise will the then is represents, like I said, what gets returned. And if nothing gets returned, or you couldn't get the data, that's where the error comes from, right?
Right. Yeah, we may even have to do a convert this to JSON. I'm not even sure if it's a readable stream or not, but we'll see. What I'm gonna do here, since we were talking about the API key possibly expiring, we're just gonna separate that out to put that here, API key. And every time the API key expires, you just replace the variable. This is the one we got right now. So we got the URL, we got the products, we got this, and if I run this should see the database for us. So I'm going to do that inside of let's see, I'm gonna just import it in, actually import see seed and seed. That's going to import that file. Now, when I import this file here, what it's going to automatically do is run all of this code. So now I gotta call it down here. Let me actually before I save it, I'm gonna go here. I'm open up the dev tools so that we can see the API call being made.
Did you export it?
I think so. Let me yes, it's exported. Yeah. I could just bring it in. Actually, let me just bring it in. That's actually a good point. I'm gonna bring it in.
Can we see it? I was gonna say, can we see it like that since you already had it set up?
Right. Seed DB. Okay. All right. So what I would do is even under it or whatever, and then put like a comment, seeding the database. And we want to run this once. We don't want to like keep running this. So I'm gonna save it. It should run it, and this is the API call that it made, and it ran it with our code. after you run the, after you seed it, you want to comment this out. You don't want to keep seeding the database. Because if you keep seeding the database, y'all gonna have to go in and do deletes, and it's gonna take even longer. But yeah, I'm gonna just go to store, and store has a few things. I forgot I put those in there. These are those first ones I used for here. That's from here. But yeah, we have those extra ones in there now, but it's fine. So what I'm gonna do is actually let me get another API. I'm just gonna get a whole new one. Just to start from scratch. So I won't have to delete anything. I wish it was a way to just like expire the one you're currently on. And just
I was thinking like, how is there a way? Is there a way to delete everything in your database quickly, or multiple quickly or something?
right. I wish it was a way. I wish they had a button to say, yeah, just trash this one. Just give me, it's 24 hours. Just give me a new one, whatever. And I don't see that button on here.
Yeah.
I used
You
to,
I would go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I was saying that I used to refresh that is like the CRUD application by like refreshing the index DB, like on your console.
Okay, like a hard refresh, or
Yeah, I used to like clear the index DB.
okay, so this ends with 8010. If I do empty cache and hard refresh, so it's 8010.
Like I think that should be under, I think it's applications.
Yeah. It's the same one. Even if, let me see, if I go to application, yeah, if you go to application, that's so hold on.
Yeah,
Local storage. Actually, I'm just gonna go to there's a button that clears everything. Storage. Okay, clear site data. Okay, so if I go here, this is done. So there's nothing else in here. So you just go to storage and then clear site data. Let me refresh. So it says 8010 right now. It still say the same thing. I'm not sure where it's being stored. Let me see if I can just.
Sam
Also-
was at index.db or index.db, that folder that was right under which way you had your mouse at first,
Um.
in the application.
Oh, inside of application. Okay.
Yeah, he was saying it's right under session storage. Yeah, he was saying something about that, I believe.
Okay, it's don't look like there's anything in there. Let me just do a refresh here. I thought the clear site data was going to clear all of it. Oh wait, I still have the thing in the URL. That's why it's not clearing. Yeah, now it's clear. Okay, so yeah. This, I think this should work fine. If that don't work fine, just clear this. But I think clearing that. But yeah, I'm check input information. Now I got a different one. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, so we can just do that. Let me paste that in here and just use this one instead. All right, so I'm going to see the database. I'm gonna put this back in, save that. Okay, so we made that call. And if we go here, refresh, we should see store, because that's what we named it in the URL. And we got one thing, perfect. Now that we see the database, comment that back out, obviously. And now we got to display it on the screen. So let's just do a quick, nothing that looks too pretty, but we'll do, we'll use a few different things. We'll use the use state, and we'll use the use effect. Use state, right? And with the use effect, what we're going to do is we're going to make the API call and do the fetch. And let me actually cheat again and go to the code that is in the course. So fetch, so we got me get requests, gifts. Okay, well, I think it's just this. So yeah, I'm gonna just copy this whole thing. This fetches all items. So I'm just gonna put that inside of this use effect. And don't forget to, let me format this. Don't forget to put this empty array. It's very important so that it only runs one time. The URL, I'm just actually going to make this a little bit better. I'm gonna say get URL, and that's just going to return, I'm just going to return this string here. So this way I can use it in two different places. This is going to be get URL. And call that. That's going to return this. Save that, and I'm actually going to export this. Export const get URL. I want to bring this into app over here. So bring that there. And inside of this fetch, we're using that get URL to get the URL, the data. I think we was testing something out with that. So data.json.then, and then we're going to, let me just do a console log of what comes back so that we know what to do with this. And this is supposed to be used to, we're going to set this data here. And I'll just say products and then set products so that we can keep this descriptive. But I'm gonna figure out what comes back from here first. If I go to the console, yeah, I logged it here. So we can see that this is what we get back from that get request. So from here, I'm just going to do a set products. We'll set it to that. And in the body, I'm going to loop through the products. So products dot map. And when you loop through, make sure you do map. You want to do product singular. And then we'll return one big HTML or whatever. And obviously y'all gonna do y'all's a little bit different, however y'all structure y'all thing. So in this div, we'll have paragraph name, and we'll do I don't know, span, and the name is this one. So it's gonna be product dot name, and remember this has to be inside of curly brackets because that is JavaScript. I'm gonna do the same for cost, description, and we got to put an image in there also. So cost and description. So cost here, this is cost. Let's put a semicolon, I mean a colon, and description here. And then the image, and this is, well, actually, before I do the image, I just want to do this first to make sure this works properly. All right, so we get this error, cannot, there's no like map property of undefined. Do anybody know where this comes from? Just before I say what this is.
Could you go back to the code? Products dot map. So you have the product, and then you have the arrow function with your return. And
Okay.
product is lowercase, it matches.
Are we returning anything from that map?
So
I thought we had to return. I thought we had to return the array from map.
Well, the arrow does the returning, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because we have these parentheses over here. So we're literally just returning this big like JSX block. But the error says, cannot read property of undefined reading map. So it's trying
Like
to
it's
read.
not
Go ahead.
So maybe it thinks that products is not an array, so you can't map through it.
Right, exactly. So how do I know, how do I fix that?
and you can put like
For each.
No, you still got to convert it to an array. So if it's a string, we can use the split method to convert it to an array. But I guess it depends on the state of products right now. Like, is it considered a string or it's
object.
undefined?
No, it's an object
How you know it's an object?
because the data that was inputted into, well, because products has been set to items. Items is being pulled from the server. The value seeded into the server was an object. So if I seeded an object and I'm pulling from the server, then what I'm pulling is going to be an object. If I'm pulling all the data down and it's in a raw form,
Yeah, so it
and
it's
plus I'll put an object when we did our console log.
right. It so
Stringify it.
go ahead, say it again.
Do we got to stringify it?
No,
JSON? No. Okay.
We just have to. I don't think we have to map through it. We just have to show it at this point.
what do we
Because
map?
it's not an array.
How about this? Go ahead, Sam. You can.
Or you can push
I
it to an
think
array.
it's looking for the data, but the data is not yet available. Like the map function is loading before the data arrives. So I think we have to put like a question mark after the product, then before the dot map.
Yes, that is that's one of the solutions. So that this question mark, did I explain what this question mark was? I'm not even sure.
Nope.
No, it kind of looks like a ternary, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is new. This is like one of the newest things that came out. I literally found out about this like 2 months ago. So what this question mark does, so what this is trying to do, and this is me, it's like I don't want to tell y'all. So Sam, can you explain why we're using this question mark? I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
explain.
Is that like an await?
Yeah, like the use effect is getting the data from the database. So it usually takes some time before it comes. So before it arrives, the map function has already run and it didn't find the data is going to map through. So we have to put the question mark, which means if the product arrives, then map through the products and display it on the page.
You mentioned that it couldn't find a product before.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it find a product?
Okay, the API took some time to arrive, so the map function ran before the arrival of the products. So that is why it couldn't find it through that error.
Got it.
Yeah,
so when the map function runs, right? What does it see? What is it trying to run map on? What is products at that time?
Product is undefined.
How do we know it's undefined?
Like there is no item yet.
It is undefined. My internet. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if my internet's messing up.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So how do I know what products is right now? Let's say I never used this use effect. I never used this. What is products? Right.
Product is like an empty string.
Where do you see that in the code? How do you know it's an empty string?
The default value of the use case.
The default.
But that's just nothing.
Exactly.
That's undefined.
Right. Exactly. That's what the problem was. We didn't set it. We didn't set anything. So this question mark says, if this is undefined, we're going to ignore everything after that. We're not going to run any of that stuff. And because we don't run any of that stuff, we're not gonna get an error. So it checks to see if it exists first. So can someone tell me what another solution to this would be? This is probably the most elegant one, but there's another solution to this.
We'll just have to wait. So we'll use our use effects, but when we use our products, we'll just have to wait for it.
How do we wait for the products?
Ooh wee. Now we didn't use the I think it was something called a wait, like the set up a asynchronous function and then use a wait. So it'd be app equals
Froze
async.
again.
Yeah, he did freeze. Darn it. I need verification. I don't know whether I'm right or not.
Oh, we
Okay,
can also put
I think I'm back.
Okay, he's back.
Yeah. The last thing I heard was that he froze again, and then it was out. But yeah, so you're making it a little bit complicated with the async. There's go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking set the default from use state to empty an empty array.
Exactly.
Empty object,
That's-
isn't it?
Well, it had to be array for
One,
map, I
yeah.
think, right?
That no, this is the array format. It's looping over an array. Now it's not finding something in there, but it's still looping over the array. It's
You
just
know what? And that's right, yeah, because CrudCrud saves it as an array. So
Oh.
it saves it as something inside of the array. That makes sense.
So yeah, it's gonna loop over. It's just not gonna show it. The only reason this is showing right here is because we're making an API call. If I comment this out, it's just gonna be an empty string. I mean, empty screen or whatever. This key, we're gonna get to that, but I'm gonna save this. So this is one. The other one that you're gonna see is if you don't set it, you would do this products and products.mat. And this does the same thing that Sam was saying with the question mark. If product exists, it's going to run the remaining stuff. If it does not exist, it's not even going to run anything after the double ampersand sign. Y'all gonna see this a lot when you're working with React. But this is the most elegant way, that question mark. You can see how much code we saved. We didn't have to write that extra bracket up here, and we didn't have to write products and products.mat. Like it's just writing one character. That's why it's called.
And I think we use that too in the products component on our app. We had some conditional rendering using the and operator, the ampersand operator.
Yeah. So that's that. Now there's one more error. Can somebody tell me how to fix this error? And this is an interview question, by the way. Each child in the list should have a unique key prop.
Oh, and you told us this too. I'm trying to think. I remember you went over this.
So can you go back to the code? Can I phone a friend? No, let me quit.
Can we pass another, like we have their map and then you pass some products. Can we pass ID as well? Right next to products? Like within our map?
Cause I was gonna say one of these have like a key, what do you call it? It's not a property. Something that has a key property.
I
where
think
you
you're
can
right,
put
yeah.
that key in. And I feel like it may be, oh my gosh,
Oh, he froze again.
my memory.
You got some time,
Right.
he's frozen.
Look,
okay.
stay frozen, Isaiah. Sam,
Yeah.
what's the
My internet went out again. Sorry. but yeah. I'm gonna let y'all think about this for like 5 minutes or whatever.
I need that.
Y'all can look it up online and whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I was definitely finna Google it.
Yeah. But this is the error right here if you want to see it.
So React is looking for a way to properly map through the elements. So
Well,
Right.
it
Mhm. Yeah.
It'll
and I,
do it. It just
yeah,
it wants that key.
Say it again,
You know-
Sam.
yeah, I said
Yep.
that React looking for a way to properly map through the items.
Mm-hmm.
So key
Where do we put the key?
in that inner div, the inner div.
Yeah. Yeah, you put it here. What are we gonna set this equal to? This key.
Products.id.
Right. Exactly.
Darn it.
The product dot, let me see what the ID looks like. I think it's underscore ID. Yes, underscore ID. So product dot underscore ID. And it's underscore ID from the actual here, from this data right here, underscore ID. And can somebody tell me why we do this? Like, I know you said it, Sam, but like maybe a little bit more in depth, like why we use that.
I would think to avoid duplicates. Like so
Yeah.
that it maps through everything just once.
Yeah, that's one for sure. There's one more answer I'm looking for, something a little bit more specific.
If I'm not mistaken, they want each product to have a unique identifier. So when you render it, it'll render that specific item, and so it'll make your app a little more efficient.
Right, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's the answer. All right, so we have that
Yeah.
key.
And I researched this when I did the freaking presentation, because I did the map presentation,
Yeah,
which is why I wanted to get it. Darn it.
if I do a refresh, that error is not there no more. So we're good. All right, cool. So now the last thing to do, so we got the name, the cost, the description. Now I'm just gonna put the image here, and this is where I'm not too sure about. So we got an image tag here, and we'll give it a source. We'll see if this works. Of product dot what did we name it? Location? Product dot location. Hopefully this works. No, image tag is unrecognized in the browser.
IMG.
IMG, yeah. That's correct. No image right there. Now, the reason there's no image is because we're not using the proper mapping for this. Let me think. So in React, it's a little bit different than regular JavaScript. About this. I feel like I had to import this before using it.
I also like import the actual image.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It has to be a way to do this. Let me do a quick search. React use dynamic source for image tag. Give image source dynamic in React.js. Okay, hold on. Wait, that's not the answer. Hold on. Okay. So they're putting it in a string. And it comes out as a string. So if you don't want to require the image, you have to put the image into public folder and then do this into the public folder. Oh, in this folder. Okay. All right. So all these assets, I'm going to remove this. I'm gonna put these assets into the public folder here. Let me see if this works. So it's there. And now when we go to reference it, I'm going to do put this like this. We'll go up a directory and then we'll put the path. So this should actually look like
I was gonna say you may have to reseed that
say it again?
possibly. I was gonna say you may have to reseed that, but I don't think you do.
Let me see if this, yeah, this work. So, so keep the, so put it in the public directory. And then, if you're referencing it from app, what you do with app is you go, I guess, I'm not sure why they went up a directory like that. You went up a directory and then into images. I mean, up one, let's see. Public. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Up one to get out of source, is that why? To get out of the
Yeah,
source
that-
folder?
But then you
That's
have to go
probably it.
into the public folder. When you get out of source, you have to go into public before you can even get to, then you have to go into actions.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think that's what they did.
they just did the straight up.
up one.
Oh,
Yeah, up into images. So this image folder was in the public folder. So just remember to do this. Yeah, and let me actually test this out with like, I'm gonna put this into another component and I'm gonna put that component into a folder to see if we gotta do like up twice or if it's like the same, like whatever, the same as it is in AppJack.
Add.
So components here, and I'm gonna do products .js export const product, and we'll do this. We'll take some props and we'll do a return of this stuff right here. We'll put all of this inside of here. And then we'll do, let me format this. And we'll do props. We'll pass in the product here. So do product here, product ID, location, name, cost, description. And I'm gonna keep this like the same here. And then what I'm gonna do is import this. And actually I can probably just write it and it's gonna import itself. Did it import? No, it didn't. So import this. Hold on. Let me do an export default. That's why I didn't import export default. Let me try this again. This. I'll answer that a little bit later.
I think you have to actually complete the name.
Oh,
So like type the S in products and it, yeah, I think it'll.
little P. Oh, it was products. Oh,
Yeah, with the S. Capital P too.
wait. The let me change this to just regular singular because the file name is product also, and this is just one product. That's why I try to keep it singular. But if I do C here, okay, there we go. So yeah, okay. So that was the problem. The file name and the other thing. Okay. All right, cool. So we're doing this, and then I want to pass in the product into it as a parameter and save that. They should do the same thing. Let's see. Product is not defined. Hold on. Refresh. Okay. Components. Components product JS. Product JS. Export default. Product. It's not defined. Const. Let me try something else. I'm thinking export default product. Okay, all right, cool. So everything works now except for the image. Now let's try to go up another directory. No, still doesn't work. And none of these are filling up either. So I'm not getting anything in there. So give it the product. It's from here. And we pass it in. Then we're returning. Let's put a debugger. I messed up somewhere. All right. Right, right. That's right. We gotta destructure that. That was the error. I should have asked y'all which I thought was wrong. To get y'all some more practice. But that was the problem. And let me actually put this back how it was. Just up.
And so how did you know it was a destructuring error? Uh-oh, frozen.
Refresh
Darn
there.
it. Oh, there we go. How did you know it was a destructuring error?
So I had did this at first, right?
Yeah.
Debugger. I'm gonna show you. So when I hit that debugger, I hovered over this, and I see that this is an object that has a products key. So I never. This is props. This is not products. This is props. So we'll have to do props dot product.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, for the word we had to do product dot product, but that wouldn't look right.
Oh, so you can call props anything.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. Right.
Oh, I thought it was a specific property like value or property name.
It's just in a specific
Like-
spot. It's just in a specific spot. It has to be the first parameter.
That's what, okay. And
Mhm.
just like child, I thought child was one of those specific named values.
Yeah, so it's just the second one. I think it's children or something like that. You can name whatever you want, or just C.
Yeah.
I think it's just the second parameter. So,
Mind blown. Thank you.
oh, no. Actually, wait. I lied. Children is always inside of props. It's always inside of props. So
Mhm.
this is props. Children should be somewhere in like. There's like a bunch of stuff, but children shows up in here. Like it'll say children.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can show you actually too. Let me if I give this a child K or something, now it has a child. K is the child. So I'm gonna do save and let me see this. Let me see the debugger again. So props. Whatever. Product is not defined.
Oh, that's because we still having that same error as before. We're passing in products as props, and we got to pass it in as product.
It stopped at the debugger. So oh wait, I see. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this actually. That's the problem because all of these was undefined because I didn't do props dot product. I'll do a refresh. Yeah. So it should have just no children. Interesting. Okay, here's children here. Children is K. I'm not sure what happened the first time around, but as soon as you pass it a child, we get a children parameter. So we only have one thing, props, and props contains everything you pass into it plus children, if there's children.
Okay.
So let me just destructure this how I had it, so we can pull out just products, and I'm gonna get rid of this child here because we don't need this. We don't need the children. Let's do it. Okay, that's fine. And what we concluded was that the image is still going to show up. It's still going to show up. You just got to go up one directory, no matter which folder you're in. See, we just all right. So that's how y'all would do it. So y'all know how to see the database with this CDB, and you know how to populate the products. However y'all format it is however you're doing your end, and that's all y'all got to do. Yeah.
cool.
Any questions? Because from here I can just we can just end class, or you can stay and work on it
So
can
just back to
pretty much-
that destructuring real quick. So the props is technically an object, and we're just pulling product from props. That's where the whole destructuring came from and why it didn't work the first time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of doing props and doing a destructuring, we can just instantly destructure inside of the parentheses, basically making it a value that you pass in.
Right.
So that's like regular JavaScript at that point.
Because that makes sense because it already assumes that it's props because it's the first parameter. That makes sense to me. Then you just destructuring, you're pulling from props because as long as it's the first parameter, it assumes that you're trying to pull from props. Okay, that makes sense.
So if it was outside of those curly brackets, then it would assume that it's props. But even though it's the first parameter, it's inside of those curly brackets. So it's like a value that's being passed into the function. So you can treat it like you would in JavaScript. So if you call it that, let's say T, then it would be just whatever you pass into that function. If you were to, right, exactly, yeah, there it is. So yeah, you destructuring props inside of that product, inside of the parentheses at first. Now he's doing it outside like we usually do it. So it's the same.
Oh, you on
thing
mute,
with-
Isaiah? I think he's trying to talk, but he on mute.
I
He
am
is
on, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, this is just more elegant. Doing it directly at the what's it called?
Right. And because, like you said, because it's the first parameter, it knows that it's pulling from props. So we don't have to put the word props anywhere.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Less code, happier developer. So yeah, you like, if you pull in more than one thing out, obviously, make some space for the rest of the stuff, which is the same. And I can also give y'all this folder. Also, I can drop this in a Slack. I'm gonna delete the node modules folder because you could just do
Right.
the npm install. Just do the npm install and then do the npm start from there. I'll drop this in the any questions before I drop this in the Slack?
Oh, only other one was, and I think it'll probably be less steps, but I figure I'll ask. We never had to run into that image issue because our images are not stored locally. We're pulling them directly from Amazon using those web addresses. So will that shouldn't be an issue, right? Since it's just the URL it's pulling from an outside source.
Y'all will probably want to get all those images on the. Oh yeah, you're right. If it's pulling from an outside source, you're fine. You're fine. Yep. I wasn't sure if y'all had the images on inside the project or not, but now you know how to do it both ways. But yeah, outside images.
No.
Fine. And let's test it real quick.
Okay.
Just to not leave any stones unturned or whatever. Let's do this. Copy image address. I'm gonna just paste it directly in here. So if that was saved in correct, that's what you were just dropping in without those two dots and stuff like that.
Right.
So let me see if this. Yeah. So yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that was all I had.
All right. So I'll just leave it like this since y'all already pulling it from outside sources. I'll give y'all this one just in case.
There you go.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that's the more complicated one.
Yeah.
And probably even more common, especially if I was to create a video game. I'll probably have all my assets saved on the computer.
Yeah, and it's faster loading time. I mean, it's a trade-off. Just make sure. I mean, the images are small. It's better having it local. But if you're doing a game.
And he's frozen again. I repeat, he is frozen again.
Yep.
Look like he's giving a speech of a lifetime. So I think I'm gonna get started with this today. And I don't know, maybe we'll even complete it today. But yeah. But since I've already started, like I was saying, we can go ahead and get this done.
My bad. I think I'm back. I'm not even sure where I left off.
back. Uh-oh. Again? He came right back and left right back out. Hello, goodbye. He trying to come back in. He in the west wing of the villa. They don't get the internet don't reach out as far.
Word. Rich people problems, they know.
Yeah, right. All right, I need to switch over. I'm gonna switch over to the computer so I can go ahead as soon as he finish up. I'm gonna get started. If anybody want to stay on, then I'm gonna just stay on here after he finishes up.
Yeah, my computer is driving me crazy. But what was I saying? Yeah, if you did the game situation, I would still pull it remotely. And the reason is because in your game, all you gotta do is change the image that's coming from the remote. I don't know if I feel like I'm probably breaking up. It looked like I have low internet connection. Yeah.
You was breaking up pretty badly, but it actually like pushed through. So I'm so
Okay.
happy. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, y'all good? Y'all good? Any more questions? Y'all good?
No, we good. Let's, like you said, as long as you drop the file, we can take that as a reference, and yeah, we can take it from here for sure.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm scared to ask another question because I feel like that internet go fail. That mug gonna blow up.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording real quick.